Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Hey.
Hey.
Who's that?
Hey. Oh, I was decorating.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but are we doing something right now?
Yeah. We got a stream going on right
now.
my
God, man.
Come on.
All right. What are we doing?
All right. Well, first, let's welcome everybody that's watching to the stream. We're doing a multi-stream today with Funko.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really great fun for us all to be able to have these artists join us and sit in there sculpting and just have a conversation with them how they like to sculpt with not a ZBrush, especially for their pipeline at Funko.
Absolutely. And this is actually really, really special to me because some of you might know I used to work at Funko and they treated me really, really well. So it's awesome to reconnect with some of the people I used to work with. So this is going to be fun. Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Well, I guess we should just start bringing in people. Is that what happens now?
Yeah, we've got 6 artists. So let's start bringing them in and let's welcome everybody. Welcome. So it should be a lot of fun. So we're going to bring them all in right now. Here they come.
Welcome in.
Hey, welcome.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for being here.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining us for this first multi-stream with the studio. We've done these before, but this is the first time we've had a group of artists from one studio join us. So thank you for taking time out of your day to do this with us.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
So we've got 6 artists, as you all can see, with us. They're going to be doing something really fun here. They're going to be doing a likeness of themselves as a Funko Pop. So this is going to be really great to watch.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be really fun. And if anybody here, just like has any questions or would like to see a screen, we're gonna be bouncing through their screens so you can see each artist's work and how they popify themselves, which is really cool.
Yeah. Right. So if you've never joined us for one of these before, like Ian said, we can only show one at a time. So we'll just be cycling through them. Ian and I will be monitoring the chat for anything that we can maybe send towards the team at Funko. So if you do have some questions, feel free to put those in. We'll try to do what we can during the stream. But with 6 artists, we also want to make sure they all get some screen time to show what they're working on. And I'm just curious to see what direction you're all going to go with your pops.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
So
because especially since too a lot of people who see or know pops, sometimes they look really simplistic, but there's a lot that goes into them. There's a lot of detail and big shapes that they have to kind of pack things in while still keeping that simple look. So it's gonna be really fun to kind of see the process live.
Yeah, and then some of you, right? Those are your Instagram handles. I know, Ryan, that's your Instagram handle.
Yes.
Is that everybody else's too? That's in the brackets.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Not that I post much there, but in case anyone wants it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Just so everybody knows, that's what's in the bracket. So if you want to go follow them on their Instagrams, you can see their work as well. So let's. Who should we start with? Whose screen should we start with? Who should we start with? Ian?
The pressure.
Roll the wheel. You pick
a number.
Yeah, we should do numbers.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going with Claire. You win.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Claire.
I was already kind of pre-planning mine a little bit. But basically sculpting myself as kind of a famous detective in famous detective garb. I'm not sure if I can say his name. I guess I can probably. But yeah, I'm a huge fan, so I thought it would be fun to do maybe it's kind of this corny outfit,
I love it.
hat, coat and everything. So yeah, I was just trying to get the hair set up. Just using curved tubes to get that placed.
So you start out pretty low poly, Claire.
Yeah, pretty much for all my, maybe not sleeves because we just kind of have them made, but for like a coat or a cape or anything like that, I start super low poly.
Yeah.
And it's single-sided too, right? You have it single-sided right now?
Yeah, so I'll go through here. I might add in some like folds and then divide it up, or I might add thickness, then divide it up and see how that's looking.
Do you use dynamic thickness when you are applying thickness?
I haven't. I feel like I've got into like my Z modeler. I'll use QMesh sometimes. yeah, that's kind of how I've been rolling.
Nice. I encourage you to try dynamic thickness. I loved
Yeah,
it. It took a while for me to get used to it when it first came out, but now I can't live without it. I almost forget to hit accept to keep the thickness and apply it.
Yeah, I should try that out.
Yeah.
You'll like get stuck in methods and just need to like every project try to do something new technique just to get used to that.
I'm also very like old. I'm also very old school ZBrush style a lot of times. Unfortunately, there's like so many ways to accomplish the same thing that it allows for people who like me who are too lazy to learn the new ways sometimes.
I agree. I'm the same way too.
But that's what makes ZBrush so awesome, right? You can choose and use whatever you want, however you want. There's like a bunch of ways to do the same thing. That's why I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like embarrassing how long it took me to really get into ZModeler. I don't even want to talk about that. But once I did, it's like there's like no going back at all. So yeah.
You're percentage mostly then in ZBrush. Then you're staying mostly in ZBrush for most of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah.
Here, I'll, like,
Good portion.
refresh this.
All right,
Well,
I'm going to
that's-
move on to Bev. I'm just going to keep cycling through here.
Yeah. We do have a question that came in. Do you have a base mesh that you work off of when you are making your pops?
Yeah, we have base meshes. We have clothing, like common clothing items that are made that we can go through and alter. We have like a library, props and pieces library. So yeah, yep.
Nice. Yep. And does anybody here like to make custom brushes? Do you guys share brushes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We-
Yes to both.
We have some great custom brushes and sorry, Beth. Go on.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over. Yay, 6 people. For our alpha team, we prep a lot of sculpts for molds for the factory along with prototyping, and we definitely make our own keys. And we also work off a lot of existing brushes that amazing other sculptors have made, from orb scraps to dam standard, all of like a whole bunch. And we also make a ton as well. I know Ellie, you made a really cool one that was like for like the sea. It was like barnacle brushes or something that I think you made like a while back. And
Oh yeah.
just
I
giving you
love Ellie's reaction when you said that. She's like,
Yes.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
That was a really long time
She's like,
ago.
wait, I did that? I did.
Yep. Did it and forgot about it.
I'm just here thinking of like hair slugs because that's a brush that our amazing sculptor Shelly, I don't remember how to pronounce their last name. Rapley. I'm so sorry, Shelly. But they made an amazing brush called a hair slug set. I'm actually working with right now, where it's literally just slug pieces of hair if you want to do individual hair and stuff.
Yeah, and Ryan, you mentioned you also use Pablo Munez's brushes, correct? Some of the brushes, was it Pablo you said that you have brushes of too?
I have a lot of Shane Olson's.
That's what it was. Shane Olson,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Well, guess who just joined the stream?
Oh, really? Yeah.
man.
Hey.
Say hi, Shane.
Yeah, your brushes are widely loved across everybody for sure.
I'm gonna. And by the way, congratulations, Bev, the bride.
Thank you. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm getting married within the month.
Yay,
So right now
congratulations.
I'm working on my out of office avatar.
Nice.
I'll be on my honeymoon in a little bit.
Nice.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations.
Okay, we're looking at Ellie's screen now. I switched to Ellie.
This is the hair slug I was talking about that Shelly created. That is just super nice in creating, that like chunk of hair strands, and it can be as thin of a piece as you want it to be, or it can be like what I do sometimes, where I'm just blocking out the really big chunks of hair, just placing it and mushing things around.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
little polygon, so you just smooth it. Yeah, you're smoothing it quickly to make some quick adjustments with smoothing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
made it a little curvy on accident. So that's also is kind of my hair. So
Hair's
Very
not
on
perfect. Look at
accident.
mine today. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
I always got this little strip right here that keeps.
oh yeah.
As long as you only see like this side of my hair, you're good. You don't have to worry about what's going on in the back.
So the good side.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Make sure you gotta get the good side.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But yeah, and it's not
Now-
until much later
when
on
you-
that I'll start dye meshing. Oh.
Now, when you are blocking out something like hair, do you find yourself to be kind of nitpicky, OCD, or do you like just laying it all out and just kind of letting it organically come together?
A little bit of both. It's constantly fighting the nitpicky because I am a very like detail-oriented person, so I want things to be perfect. But with like my biggest recommendation for any form of art is you got to just get the big shapes out there, keep them low poly so that they're easy to change, and then I'll go back in and nitpick. And so sometimes some of my earlier things are very just like mashed together. And it's not great looking, but once I go in and start detailing, I just gotta tame the OCD in me to not start futzing with it too soon.
And we'll
Yeah.
keep moving on. We'll put Ryan's up now.
Yeah.
And then a question did come through. How long do you guys usually take to finish one of your designs?
Oh,
I mean, it really, it kind of depends, on how complex the character is. Like, I would say we have a pretty fast turnaround. There's things that can generally take 1 day, 2 days, a week. It kind of depends. But well, that's also the one thing about the pop style is that it's such a great blank canvas to really shape into any character, but also depending on the license and depending on the movie or the show, the pop kind of takes a different form. Like, it's always the pop has a similar sort of face, but the proportions change, the general style changes. So for example, I'm doing this little elf guy. So I like squished the body down and brought out the ears and inflated the hands. You make the feet bigger and whatnot. I thought, since we're making ourselves, I'm also like, making myself, where to go? Just really, really accurate. I think
So shredded.
we're just
Wow.
we're doing accurate representations of ourselves. So I kind of
Yeah.
thought
I love it.
I'd be correct
Just
on
short
that,
and
so,
jacked.
Yeah, I like to just
And-
wear sleeves and no actual torso. So I just like.
Yeah.
the sleeves are your.
yeah.
Or like
I love
skin.
I mean, I'm giving myself a pipe, so that's accurate.
Ooh.
No, I'm
Yeah,
joking.
you just-
It's not.
You just reminded me I needed to add elf ears.
There you go.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen an elf with a shirt off in any movies that I can think of right
Well, there you go. Now we
Ellie.
First for everything.
No,
No, okay, sorry.
Oh,
I love it. All right, we'll keep moving along. We'll go to Amanda's screen.
Oh,
now.
God. Okay.
There we go.
My
Little-
hair looks similar to Claire's, so just doing some little slugs. Really
Nice.
exciting stuff. I'm actually making myself in my Ren Fair outfit because I'm going
Nice.
to Ren Fair this weekend, and I'm going to be a pirate. So that's
Yeah,
where we're at.
I mean,
awesome.
To be super nerdy about it, because otherwise, like jeans and a t-shirt is not that fun to watch.
Well, you can't be here at Funko and be nerdy. What are you talking about?
All right.
We're all the biggest nerds.
True.
so when
How
it
does
comes-
manufacturing affect your sculpts when you guys are doing these?
A lot. We have
Yeah.
to make sure that everything's kind of pressed into the body or the head, make sure that all the holes are filled. We do not only the 3D printing, but the roto and injection molding. So we have to make sure that the details will actually stay. So a lot of it, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Sharpness
sure that it can
testing.
Yeah, sharpness. Make
yes.
sure that
Yeah.
stuff's not going to break.
Will it balance on its own?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
will it
Yeah.
stab
Yeah.
you?
Do you have what's your minimum
Yes.
tolerance? What's your guys' minimum tolerance? 2 millimeter, 1.5 millimeters? Like
It's actually
2 millimeter.
yeah, it's
Millimeter.
millimeter. You had it.
A good,
Yeah.
a good thing to shoot for.
Yeah.
Generally, the factory they have different they have different preferences for things. So yeah, we try to keep things as thick as possible. Jumping off of what Amanda was saying with trying to like tuck things in and keep things like watertight and everything. I have a quick tip. I love the snake hook brush and turning on backface mask, because that's like a really great way to take something and push it in. So like, for example, if I were to move that out.
Your screen. This is Claire, right?
Yeah.
This is Beverly.
I'm making sure I'm showing the right screen. I want to show Claire's screen right now, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just working on the
Wait,
hat.
who's sharing the tip?
It was Bev.
It was Bev. It was Bev.
Oh, it's Bev.
Was me.
Okay, Bev, let me come
Yeah.
back to you.
Back to Bev.
Okay, go.
The ultimate guessing game. Yeah, but just jumping in for what Amanda was saying. I love the snake hook brush, definitely for filling things in. On the output end, we definitely will take stuff and fill it and push things around. And so definitely like with clothing, hair, we'll just go in and just like smoosh it and like bring it back so that way it fills it in. So I just have my snake hook brush with the back face mask turned on. And so like that's just a really great way to just fill in those holes. Yeah, that's all. That was my quick tip.
Okay.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Good one. So a question came through about asking if ZBrush has the ability to calculate the center of mass. It does not. So what do you all do to make sure that the model doesn't tumble over? Like, was there a little trick that you all have to make sure it can actually stand?
There's
Yeah.
several. Yeah, I do know that. So I mean, we will sometimes prototype things depending on like approvals. Like some things you can kind of eyeball and see like, okay, it's leaning far forward and it can fall. Other times you can we'll take it out into another software program to kind of see like the center of gravity. But then other times we'll actually prototype it just to see, because sometimes that will give you the official like how well, because the other end is like, sure, you can make something super precise, but then at the end of the day, like the factory has to assemble it, and if it's like slightly off and if it falls, then it's kind of like, maybe can we rework this a little bit to make it extra stable? And so that's one of the fun things that I get to do as an output designer is I get to prototype things as well and kind of work with the sculptors and be like, hey, like this is how it's standing. So they get that visual, and we can kind of tag team like what next steps to take from there.
Okay, great, thank you. And we're looking at Andrea's screen now. We got her screen.
Yeah.
Are you surfing? Is that what you're going to be doing?
Very action pose, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'll try to make it surfing. Yeah, right now you got me in the trickiest part, because every time I start with the hair, it's like I don't know how to make it. Because every single time I try to do it different ways, because like we said before, there's a million times to do things. So yeah.
It seems like you guys, almost all you're starting with hair, it looks like. From the start, a lot of you are starting with the hair first to get the feel of the character.
Yeah, I feel like since it's the hardest part for me, I just want to get out. Other things, like if I see something else, I'm like, no, just keep with the hair. Just keep the hair. Just do it, and then I'll start polishing other things. But yeah,
I feel like the hair has so much to do with the character. So having that at least blocked in, you can kind of get the feel of it.
So how do you gather your references when you're doing a new project, whether it be an IP or something like this where you're doing it yourself? Do you have like a go-to source for references, or do you just kind of Google it?
Yeah. So for example, I basically Google it. But one of the things that I learned at Funko is that it's also really important to look at other figures, like, or other sculpts that someone else has done. Like, I mean, if I'm gonna do, for instance, like stylize the water for this one, I will try to look if someone else has done that and see like how other people has achieved stylized water, and I try to be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Maybe I'll try that. Or, like I'll make something, right? But I always try to look inspiration on like something that someone else has done. I find it that really helpful.
Yeah, at headquarters we have well, it's not really a pop wall, but because it's all of our form factors, but it's just a wall of a bunch of different figures that we've done that are just great references. Like, okay, I want to try to do this kind of hair treatment. How have we done it in the past? Just very similar to what Andrea said, and just like a physical reference in our hands that we can go and see. I mean, that's also like, you know, if we're in the office.
Yeah. Do you have a bunch of pops at home? Does everybody have like a whole wall of their own pops they've been collecting?
Definitely
Way
have a
too
handful.
many.
Right.
So
Oh
many.
my god.
Yeah.
I feel like we should do.
And blur
Okay,
your
everyone raise
back.
their hand that has 100.
100?
Everyone raise their
I
hand
haven't
that has.
actually.
Well, look,
Maybe-
Claire's doing silently. Claire's like the silent. Okay.
Maybe at one point, but there's
Yeah.
been a bit of a purge because I
Yeah.
was running out of space. I was like, ugh.
I had to do that too. I had to do a purge too. But yeah, I've
Oh, yeah.
definitely
I feel
well
like I'm
over
always-
100.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always purging. I always find more that I've
Never
kept for
stop.
years.
But I think that's part of what Funko is, right? It's a collectible thing that people are getting all the pieces that you're all making and trying to get them and add it to their collections too, which is makes
Yeah.
it part of fun too. It makes a fun part of what you're all doing.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's really interesting.
And they are hiring. Someone asked in the chat. They are hiring.
Mhm.
They are hiring. So you got to visit their
Yeah.
website. We'll see if we can find their part of their website that we can share with you where you can go and find out more information about hiring for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking
What
forward to
about
hearing from you.
poses? What do you guys? Are you all just using Transpose Master to figure out multiple poses for the character, or you're just going for the pose
Depends.
right out the gate?
It depends.
Depends on the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
depends.
I
Well,
definitely like to stand up from my desk and just, try the pose for myself, look in the mirror, and then look at a lot of reference. I mean, reference is definitely the biggest thing for sure. But then also,
I
if
still
we're
have
looking
pictures
at,
of Ryan saved from reference, actually.
oh really? Oh yeah,
where
I
you
think
posed for me.
I think I remember a lot of cases when we were working on some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we need a demo from Ryan how he does
Honestly, yes.
Well, I have a couple,
Yeah.
a couple props and things, when we were working on some things, but nothing here. All stuff in the office. But yeah, no, I mean, like I would say definitely in terms of posing, like the reference would sometimes the character would have some sort of signature pose, so you would want to try and capture that, and especially if it's something that's like a very familiar look for the character. And that's definitely always something we try to get. But yeah, I would say like definitely the biggest thing is just looking at reference, looking at life, seeing how the body works. Because in terms of, as you can see what Bev's doing, she did a very kind of more dynamic pose, having sitting cross-legged. That's always a very difficult pose for
one
pops
for-
because our limbs are so stocky and short. It's sometimes difficult to put them in dynamic poses, especially like crossing the arms is always a tough one. Cross leg is always a tough one.
I definitely had to cheat this one and break some limbs to make it
Yeah,
happen.
gonna have to cheat it a little bit.
You gotta be willing to break some limbs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it looks good. Yep. Well, I think that's neat too that you guys share files with each other, or you'll be able to like say, "Hey, that looks really cool. Let me nab that because I got a
Yeah.
character with the same thing."
Mhm.
Yeah, well, posing is like one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. Like, I absolutely love posing. I have a whole folder filled with stuff. But in terms of like what our models do, we kind of have like a base doll, I guess you could say. Like, as you can kind of see on Bev's, where it's broken up into sections and pieces, and it makes it really easy to select the fingers and so, for example, if you want to pop over to mine real quick, actually, oh no, actually you can see it on Bev's. But you can see how all the poly groups on her fingers, she can go in there and select each section of where the knuckle is, and she can bend it and move it however way she wants. She has it broken at the elbow. So it makes it really easy for us to move things around and block out the shapes, and then we go back over and Dynamesh and smooth it out. But yeah, especially since we crank out so much material and everyone's doing very similar form factors, it makes it really nice to use a lot of the same body types to keep on the style.
Yeah.
And in terms of,
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
in terms of tools, it really varies between artists. Like I mentioned, I'm pretty old school, so I will go into like the Z plugin, Transpose Master, do the T-pose mesh, and pose it in that, and then bring it back to the original file. Some people will use, like Bev, will do Gizmo, and I have not touched Gizmo yet.
I like green.
Some people do a combination of the two.
Yeah.
I'm just really set in my ways. I don't like change.
But really no specific nitty gritty pipeline then, you're able to just kind of, they say, hey, we need to have this figure. Can you sculpt this figure? And you start making it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's for whatever works best for the individual, essentially, as long as we get to the end product and in a timely manner, then yeah, it's up to the individual.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Any pops that anyone here is especially proud of that that's been released to the public you can't talk about?
Right.
Well,
I was going to say, I'm really grateful for my first project. When I started at Funko, I was learning to join like the output like designer team, but there was like this really great sculptor at the time named Alex Gomez, who was basically like a mentor. He showed me a lot of 3D printing, but at the time he offered some of his sculpting projects, and it was Toy Story 4, and I got to work on a little pen topper series, and that was my first thing ever. So like learning proportions and form factors, but then being able to work on like your childhood basically, which is such an honor, and I am really grateful for Alex for doing that. But yeah, it was a great learning opportunity, and even Pixar was super friendly with feedback and everything, and patient. But yeah, that was that one I hold really dear, because that was my first one, but also it was really cool to work on that.
That's so awesome. I love that movie, by the way. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
Oh man,
If you only can watch one of the four, which one?
Oh man,
For Toy Story.
I feel like I lean. Like, which one do you want to cry more? I feel like the second one holds a soft spot because of Jessie.
Jessie.
Yeah, I feel like that one. I think I might have cried a good portion.
Yeah.
With the "Somebody Loves Me" one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah.
Now that's stuck in my head. Thank you.
Tugging at the heartstrings.
Look, I can't believe how well, like, each one of them has just a different dynamic and a different way of hitting you. Like, it's crazy how well they nail. And then you look, they did those like huge gaps too, or like 8-10 year gaps between each movie too.
Yeah.
So they all just keep re-hitting. They've done an amazing job with that series. It's just, I kind of love 4. I'm really digging 4 a lot. So
4 is super, yeah. 4 is super awesome. I think 1 is always going to hold a super special spot, because that was the time when I had no idea what 3D even was. So I was watching this movie and I was freaking out. So I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I love the environments in 4. Like, they just fill the world with so much stuff.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yep. I'm just gonna keep bouncing around your screens as we're going. So just keep sculpting, keep going. I'm on Ellie's now. We were just at Ryan's. What about color? So someone asked a question about, do you guys fill some color with them while you're in ZBrush before you're sending them off to print, or do you just stay grayscale?
It depends on the project and the person.
Okay.
Because sometimes it just helps to throw some color on there so you can kind of see what you're doing. And then sometimes, we have to because of, the different licensors or something. But I think...
Sorry, the noise was me realizing I broke my leg.
Oh my gosh.
My bad. All right. Carry on.
Really?
Stranger Things action happening on the lake.
Don't make me.
How dare you?
Wow. How did I do this? How did this happen? Sorry.
Control Z.
I have
that's
actually a question also for more of a ZBrush. A lot of you are, obviously these pieces are all one mesh and you're masking and unmasking. Have any of you used the capability to unmask multiple shells without having to hide anything?
Silence.
No, that doesn't-
Oh.
You should tell us about that.
Take it away, Paul. Take it away.
Okay. I feel like I wanna share because you guys are doing a lot of you are doing some of this. So with the gizmo and the transpose line, you can actually unmask multiple meshes as long as they're the same subtool without actually hiding and showing, like the way some of you are doing it right now. I could show it.
Me on here right now.
Please show it.
You know what
Yeah,
I see
sure.
it?
Yeah,
There's more
show
just a
us.
general question for me. Hold on. I got to get it up and then share my screen. 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Hold on. I got to share my screen. Let's see.
Well, we did have another question coming in too about like materials. Do you guys play with materials while you're designing, or is that, or materials set later on after the design process?
That's usually
I think that's a fact we can play around with too. But not as much. I mean, I feel like personally I play more with the colors than
Yep.
materials because we're a little limited in that. But I feel like it helps too.
You might
Yeah.
block in like a metallic for armor or weapons or something like that,
Yeah.
just to better convey what's going on.
yeah.
Kind of
That's
tell the
usually for
story.
like that's usually in the mock-up that we send to the licensor so that they have an idea of sort of kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's mentioned there's we've been slowly making materials that kind of look like the end feel is going to be.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we kind of keep it very simple with the startup material, the matte cap gray and
Right.
skin shade.
Very cool. All right.
All right,
Well,
here I go. I'm gonna give this little tip trick for everybody since we're doing it. So this is only going to work if the mesh is all one and it's multiple pieces of geometry. What that means is like the goggles its own geometry, the body's its own, the shoulder pad, so forth and so on. So this can be handy also for Transpose Master. For those that have been using Transpose Master, this could come in handy for that. Or if you look at what they're doing right now, they've got one subtool, but it's made up of multiple shells, in essence, multiple pieces of geometry in one subtool. So you can do this with the gizmo or the transpose line, and just because Ellie, I like the old school talk, we're going to start with the transpose line. Okay. So normally if you're going to mask something off, right, this has built-in ability to do that kind of stuff. But if you want, you can actually unmask the entire body the way I'm doing it right now. So once you drag this out to the document, it unmasks the entire body. So instead of going down the body, right, and then you can go out of the body and then over another subtool, or in this case, sorry, another mesh, you'll see the entire body is unmasked automatically. And so if I want to add something to this, I do that same process. I go like, say I go to like, let's go to the shirt and I do this, right? And then now if I hold, I want to go, so let's do this. And then now I want to add the shirt. I can add the shirt. If I want to add the backpack, I can add the backpack. I want to add the goggles. I can add the goggles. Right. So you can do this with the transpose line, or you can also do this gizmo. So I'll show you guys in action, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing to do this. Right. So you see I'm unmasking without showing or hiding anything. It's just all one swoop here for me. Okay. So what I'm doing is obviously you need your first mask. Okay. So this is my body. Now, anything else I want to add is just like in any other programs, in most cases, it's the shift key to add things. Okay, so what you're going to do is you got to first tell ZBrush you want a mask, or in essence, add to the mask. So you're going to hold down Control, and then you're going to go click on the other mesh, in essence, that I want to completely unmask. So then I go and click on, say, let's say the shirt, and then now I just switch to the shift key, and then move, see a little crosshair, move it over to the unmasked portion, in this case the body, and now the shirt comes completely unmasked. So again, if I want to do the goggle, here we'll zoom in. I go over the goggle, hold control, then switch the shift key, and then just move my little crosshair over an unmasked portion.
Okay.
And boom, you can just keep adding unmasked and masked portions.
Interesting.
There you go.
So it's noticing that that other piece that you have the mouse over is also unmasked. So it's copying that task of being unmasked. So then if you were to go over on top of a piece that is masked, would it then go back to being masked?
You mean do this?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then you can just kind of swap back and forth. So depending on what's masked and unmasked. Oh, cool.
Yeah. This also means that you can do stuff where you can get multiple, as you can see,
Oh yeah, sections.
topology maskings as well. So little quick trip, little quick tip for me. Little quick,
Just little ZBrush gems.
I love it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Sorry,
Inception.
I just was more intrigued for me if you guys have ever used that technique. All right, we're back to you. We're back at Claire.
Oh man, I've been working on this hat, my little vest.
Nice. Are there any times in which like you have an idea? Let's say you're you watched a favorite TV show like The Office or something, and you're just like, hey, I would really like to sculpt this IP. Is there any chance you can go into work and be like, you know what, this new anime popped up, and I really think it'll be popular. Could we do this IP? Like, do you guys ever allow that freedom to offer ideas?
Yeah, like we're massive nerds and fans of everything under the sun, and we all bring in different interests, and that is sometimes a lot of times how we get and go for a lot of those licenses, because somebody brought it to our attention and be like, hey, I just, like you said, just watched the show, it's awesome, really cool characters and story, we should maybe try and do it. And so yeah, we're always sharing like our dream licenses, and also stuff that we would love to do, and you never know. But sometimes a lot of us put like a one sheet together where we like create like, okay, so these are the characters we would want to do in the first wave, and then some of us like do a little concept art or actually sculpt the characters just for fun and kind of just see what it would look like and whatnot. But yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna keep bouncing around. I'm on Andrea's screen now. We're just bouncing around everyone's screen.
I feel like you catch me in the hardest points.
You on your toes.
Oh yeah, I have toes, so I'll keep on that. I just change. I'll switch to something easy.
We can
Change
come
shirt.
back. You're posing the hand right now, right?
I am. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm finalizing, then posing, blocking the figure.
Nice.
Here at the water. Like we were saying earlier, like sometimes like the knees are too short, so we just need to lie and be like, okay, this part is longer. Because we do have the base mesh, but like when it comes to stretching, we just have to deform the base mesh so it looks right.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And posing is one of my favorite spots too, because it's fun to explore, push the elements, break some stuff, and then say, hey, okay, you know what, that's not working, that is working. It's really it's the fun part.
Yeah, well, I often get to do a lot of Spider-Man, and obviously Spider-Man's one of the most action-y posed dudes ever. So it's that's always a really fun challenge to try and come up with as many different crazy poses for him. That's always a fun one, for sure.
Oh, I bet, yeah. So with we had a question about concept art, kind of touching back on that a little bit. When you are given a project, do you usually have concept art as an idea from the client, or is it more of like you're just searching, trying to kind of figure it out. I'm assuming that they have some idea of what they want, at least when they come.
It varies from it's another thing that like varies from product to product, licensor to licensor. Sometimes we're like, okay, we want to do this figure. Licensor's like, okay, do them in this pose or do them like this. Sometimes it's marketing. Sometimes it's, you know, up to the individual concept artist and what they want the pose to be. And we have that freedom to do whatever we want. And so, yeah, it kind of depends.
Sometimes I feel like we have flexibility, and other times like that, like, no, we just want to go with this. But I feel like if we're really passionate about the project, and we're like, I think we can do it this way. Maybe like I feel like we can be, you know, we can be a little more pushy. I feel like I do that a lot all the time. So like Ben or like Sean that used to look over, he's one of the art directors. Like I always try to push and do the things that, you know, maybe we shouldn't do, but I always like to experiment and, you know, try to do things more different. So yeah. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But with the lose comes the experience. So you win anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a team effort in terms of like figuring out the look of a character. Like we do sometimes go straight to sculpt, and but we're always working together as a team with the concept artist, the color call out artist, and anyone else, because you know there's a whole group of us that are really kind of banding together and figuring a lot of these characters out, especially if it's a character that's really complicated and very specific. And but that's always what's really also fun is working together to figure out a final look. And like we would go over to like the concept artist desk and kind of work together, and they would sketch up a little thing and like, okay, well, this is cool. So what if we put him in this pose, and we do a couple other drawings and put him in a different pose and slightly different outfit, or we would notice something in the concept art and like switch different colors. And so it's it's always definitely a process as we all work together.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's actually what seems to be so much fun here is everybody's willing to collaborate and make the best pop product ever. I was going to struggle on saying pop product. Pop product.
Here's a good segue question to what you just brought up. So with the world we're living in now, are you having team members be remotely in other parts of the world? And is that something that you found Funko is doing now?
Andrea should talk about that.
Andrea?
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Andrea.
Yeah.
Time is it for you right now, Andrea?
I'm working from Spain.
Well, that was a question coming in that answers it. Yes, they have remote people.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely working from home has definitely created an interesting opportunity and change of process where a lot of people are working from home and working from other states and chatting online. A lot of us are definitely still in the office and working together, but it's definitely kind of changed the game a little bit, and kind of go with the flow and change things up. But I'd say it definitely has created different dynamics, but also we're all so close and we all work together so well that it's not much different really.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they are hiring, just in case that person's just joining us now. They are hiring. So we got to find the page for them all. And we got to find the page and share it in the chat.
I've been sharing.
Never mind. Already done.
I've been sharing that career page. Yeah.
Look at that.
Funko.com/careers. Go.
Come work with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about, so you talk about working in a group. What about when you do someone also asked about the big deluxe sets, like for example, the Avengers assembly set? Is that usually one person, or does each person get a character in a set like that? And then
It can be multiple people. Usually it's multiple people working on those. A lot of the
Yeah.
time it's one person starts it, like builds the, main base, since they all come together in a scene. So one person builds that, and then, the characters may be posed and finished inside that by somebody else.
Okay.
A
Thank
lot
you.
of a lot of depends.
Yeah,
The
honestly.
situations at Funko here, it's
Yeah.
we have some structure, and then sometimes it's kind of like anyone's guess.
Yes.
If it's a big project, we could have like 5 sculptors working on it, and
Yeah.
then just kind of continuously checking in to see where we're at. And at the end of it, maybe do a lineup to see how, everyone does hair a little bit differently to see if they're working together. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking at Ellie's screen now, just to update everybody.
Yeah. Trying to figure out how to get a
So-
jacket around.
A little jacket
I was-
moment.
I was dumb and thought I could add this in here.
What is your pop lunging at?
Korean barbecue.
That's
That's
accurate.
on my mind right now.
That's on,
Perfect.
definitely on theme. Yeah, on brand.
So you're a big Korean barbecue fan then, eh?
Oh, absolutely. Big Korean
Perfect.
barbecue fan. And just
Have
a lot
you-
of-
We actually just had it this past weekend.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, next time you're in LA, let us know, because we're also big fans of that as well here.
Oh,
nice.
Good Korean barbecues in LA.
I was actually in LA the other weekend and can confer that at least the ones that I went to were very good, but always
Yeah.
eager to eat more of it. It's just delicious.
Yeah. It's fun. It's funny. You're cooking your own food right in front of you. You're like,
Yeah.
and you're doing it all yourself,
Yes.
but it's good.
I have the places where they're like this person might not know how to do this. We'll just cook the for them. I'm like, no. I got this. I can do this. I'm an adult.
Keep hopping around. I see Ryan's added color. So a person.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I actually, I'm one of the sculptors that actually works in color most of the time. I actually don't really do just flat gray very often because I just like color. I like having pretty things to look at while I'm working. But especially if it's a character that's really complicated, like Spidey, for example, where he has all these different designs in his suit, and it's often just a bodysuit. So I find it really easy to color in the shapes with different colors. So like for example, if I'm working on the sleeve, and I would do some sort of, might help if I have the right brush, like I would block in just super bright saturated colors just to kind of figure out like what's the general shape, and figure out from there. And then I would go in with like yellow and do this sort of thing. And so for me, like I would do this, and then I've been really into doing mask by poly paint and using that a whole lot. And then so I'd do that, especially if it's like a bodysuit like Spidey or whoever. And I've been using edge loop masked border a lot, so then I would use that, and then also would make it a really nice clean edge, and then separate it and panel loop it to give it thickness and all that. So that's definitely one method that I use in terms of just blocking out the general shape language of what's going on with the character. But yeah, I'm always doing colors most of the time. Yeah.
So for a question coming through about other things than pop, can you talk a little bit? You guys also don't do just the pop line as well. You're doing all the lines.
Mhm.
Is there
Yes.
anything that you can share that's different the way you're sculpting for the pop line compared to another line?
Most of our like established lines have similar to like pop. Our pops is we have a base mesh that we kind of work off of. Just never consistent in size, in proportions, somewhat in style. I guess like our soda figures are a good example. Sorry, go on, Minna.
Oh, I was just going to say that we have like the Paka Paka figures where you pretty much just have to start from scratch, you know, take a sphere, mush it around. So we definitely do things without base meshes as well. So, and then everything kind of has a little style. I mean, even within pop, we have some that are a little bit more simplified, some that are a little more realistic, especially like when it comes to hairstyles. So yeah, they're all kind of different.
Did any of you work on the FNAF action figure series?
FNAF.
FNAF.
No.
Five
No.
Nights at Freddy's.
Bev did. Bev's yes.
Yes, but yeah.
That was the only question. That was the only question.
Yeah.
I'm just cycling through again. We were just on Amanda's. We're moving to Claire's screen now.
I'm making that pipe I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely outputted a lot of FNAF, which is very scary because you go in to split the jaw and you have like 5 different jaws, and then you some will be prepped for flocking. So if you can picture like cored out eyes, because when you flock something, the factory will go in and per piece it's like one color, so you have to split things by pieces, so separating eyes out, so you just see cored eyes and then fur color, and yeah, just in the end it just looks very cored out and massacred. Very terrifying, but yeah, like the stuff of nightmares.
Do the clients share specific color with you all when you're doing the pieces for IPs? Do they give you an actual Pantone colors that you have to use?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like that's very typical for like the color call out side of things. Yeah, they like to keep things consistent. So they'll call it like, this is our red, or
Right.
this is our color kind of thing. And as like I color call it ours because probably speak more to this than I can, but yeah, they get to match a lot of that stuff.
Thank you.
But sometimes, I mean, well, I noticed that as working at Funko, I feel like, or maybe as a fan too, but I feel like we have had multiple, I mean, like maybe like a project that has had multiple figures come out and they have different skin colors. I mean, even though it's the same character, like doing different poses, like, you know, we've also like have that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I feel like
Makes sense.
now, like our team is bigger and our team is like more consistent about that. But I feel like earlier on, like, or like for instance, like I know that there are licensors that sometimes they just change their mind about the skin colors or you know any color, so they just change it. So it's kind of interesting, like sometimes to see it or to like notice those type of things.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Does anybody here handle any of part of the 3D printing process? Does anybody here just 3D print in general?
Bev.
Bev.
She's the 3D printing master for sure.
So I see Andrea's got a
You
Anycubic.
can learn a lot from her.
Yeah, and I have two
Amanda?
3D printers as well. So
Okay.
Nice.
Allie and Claire, do you have printers too? And Ryan, you have printers too?
Oh, no.
No, I wish. I've been too much of a nomad, kind of traveling around, working remote lately. But I think in the future, hopefully, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's free time? No, I just haven't got into it yet. And
real.
it's a commitment that I want to make sure that I'm, you know, ready to form. It's not like a child or anything, but you know what I mean. They're expensive.
I mean, they're kind of like my children.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Very
It
neat.
becomes sometimes a little, I'm on number 4. I've got 4 now. So
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh,
wow.
nice. Congratulations.
Hey.
Sorry.
Dang.
I had 2, then my resin printer died. So now I have one, and I got to get another resin printer. I've been saying it now for like a month. Paul every day is like, "You gonna buy the printer?" I'm like, I'm working on it.
Wait for those
I-
sales.
My filament printer had a problem, and I still need to take it apart and fix it. But what's free time?
Yeah.
Yep.
But they're so handy. My son wanted a ocarina 3D printed, so I made it,
fun.
and he's the happiest guy on the
Yeah.
planet. So
That's
Oh.
great.
Adorable.
Toys for the kids.
yeah,
It work
Yeah.
out well. Yeah, Bev, you seemed like you
Sometimes
were
for the
involved a
kids.
lot in the printing process at Funko.
Yeah, I'm really grateful. I get to hop around a lot and kind of see a lot of the pipeline. We're such a small team for our output team. There's just 3 of us, including myself. We are hiring, but yeah, I get to prep things for molding, and then I also prep stuff for prototyping. I'm fortunate to prep new toy lines for more particular licensors that request to see like a physical print. I'll help with that, and we'll do balance tests. Like, it's a whole bunch of things, and we're looking to grow our printing department. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun working with different printers and just kind of seeing like, oh, this is what it looks like when you sculpt it. And I'm still growing as a sculptor and kind of learning like proportions and all that, but it's really fun to be able to kind of see a more technical side of like, oh, like allowances and what to be mindful of when you send it to the factory. So I've been really enjoying it, and it's been I love my team, and yeah, it's been great.
that's so awesome.
Nice. We're looking at Andrea's screen now, just so everyone is aware that's watching us.
Oh,
Making
Just
waves.
so you have that pressure.
Look at
Pressure,
that.
pressure.
So what are you using there, Andrea? Just a bunch of square lines and curves, and what did you do to block in those shapes?
I just did a curve, and I'm really lazy. I just duplicated and duplicated with a really big brush and just adjust the shape. I'm ashamed. I'm sure there are a million ways to do it.
Don't be
better.
ashamed. You're just being efficient.
There you go. Yeah.
I just call myself lazy.
No one's judging out loud. No, I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
See, that's why I
It's
love.
natural says.
That's why I love being an artist, because you're always going to be growing. You're always going to be trying new
Mhm.
stuff, and then too, because everyone here works together in a lot of, you're able to then say, "Hey, did you try this? Did you try that?" Or I have this trick I want to share, or "Hey, how did you do that?" Which I always find to be funny. I love watching my colleagues work and being like, "Hey, you're going to have to show me that because that looks efficient."
We have weekly meetings where sometimes people, artists will be like, I discovered this new technique, or I created this cool brush, or this like other ZBrush technique, and they'll just share it with everyone. And I love our
Yeah.
collaborative community that we got here, that we're working together, we're not working against each other.
Yeah.
It's fun, like kind of looking at somebody's file after they've finished a project, and also kind of trying to like reverse engineer how they did something. Like I find myself doing that a lot. I'm like, how did they do that? And then like trying to figure it out, and I've learned a lot that way actually.
I'm definitely one of those sculptors that tends to work harder, not smarter. And I'm always kind of trying to figure out better methods, but I'm definitely not the cleverest of sculptors. We have so many awesome people on our team where they're always sharing their amazing processes, and everyone's just always growing as a team. It's always really cool to see how people definitely develop and grow over time, especially as we all share our stuff and work together. And but even still, I'm so stubborn. I'm like, no, like I'm gonna use this method of just clicking 5 million other buttons instead of learning this this new thing. I need to get out of that habit. But yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think, like you're saying, there's no really, every artist is different. There's really not really a wrong way to do something per se. You know, it's more of a creative mindset, and you're working, you're all working, like you said, what's free time to see what's new and what's being put in the software themselves as well too. It's a lot.
True.
Are you kit bashing? You're kit bashing right now, Andre, of your animal, right? You're taking from a bunch of different.
I'm adding a surprise. I'm adding my dog if I have time. So I'm using. We have here a basement of dogs. So like people in the team, like you know, when they work in a project, like imagine they are doing like a dog, so they're like, oh, you know, since I'm doing this already, I'm just gonna work with like a base mesh, and they just share it with the team. So like we have like created like a like, you know, there was a file that I also saw like of like people posted it, so like it helps us just to speed up you know, the process if you know we have to create this for an actual video. But now I'm just being lazy because you know I'm just reusing parts to create my dog.
It's not lazy, it's efficiency.
Yeah, it's efficient.
Yeah.
3D mesh, that's the beauty of 3D besides the undo ability, but be able to take meshes that already exist. Trust me, every industry does that. Every single industry does that. They reuse pieces over and over.
We got color now.
Yeah, we're back to Bev with some color now. The bride to be.
Definitely on vacation.
Yep.
So you guys do this? Do all of you when you go on vacation? You make a "I'm out for vacation" Funko?
Oh no!
Oh my god!
Ben's showing us up here, raising the bar.
Ambitious, and they will make like holiday themed ones, and it'll be like it's Halloween or something. And I've just had like the same generic one. It's like I need to spice mine up a little bit, just catch people's attention. Like I'm not here for a little bit.
This is the first time I've sculpted myself as a pop.
Yeah,
Really?
me too, actually.
Yeah,
Same, I've never done it.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Sounds like a new challenge.
Different. Yeah. And that's always one big challenge. Like what we're doing now is, obviously, you know, we stare at ourselves every day, but like translating a lot of characters to the pop, like licensed characters, translating them to the pop form is definitely an interesting challenge. You know, simplifying it down and figuring out, you know, what's the most important parts of the character. And you know, I tend to like squint my eyes or blur my eyes to kind of like figure out like what's the most important parts of the character that make it that character, and what can be cut into a more cartoony, simple look. But I definitely
I'm also like just like even as a sculptor here, I'm impressed sometimes with the likeness that we're able to achieve, where even with like this big cube-ish head with just big black eyes, that I could look at it with no paint and be like, oh, this is this character, this is this actor, because of how well the sculptor like got the hair silhouette and the outfit and the pose, and it's like I'm just gonna gush over here, but just don't mind me.
No, I think it's pops have really hit a really unique inspiration for a lot of people and a lot of artists as well. We have a regular here who loves pops, and he was super inspired to make his own pops for his kids and stuff like that. So you know, it is such a unique style that allows for others to see it and feel something and be inspired. So it's so neat to be able to just make them and you know, give them to the fans. Funko has some of the best fans ever.
We do.
Yeah, we love you guys for sure.
Yeah. You have amazing fans for sure.
Yeah. Any fanatics out there? Hello. Hope you guys are enjoying.
Do you so obviously you have different types for making the product. What about draft angle? Do you worry about that, or does that get handed off to the output people?
Draft angle, that kind of stuff, I feel like we delegate that to the factory, because working back from draft, that can be kind of tricky. So it's easy to just let their engineers have that on their end, because they can be more particular. It's fascinating. I mean, we have our creative end of artists, but then if you look at like a factory, it's another creative mind at play, but like with an engineer sense. And every factory will have their own way of doing things. And so it's kind of like, in a sense, we have our standard of like, okay, these are the kind of cuts we want to make. And we encourage things to be prepped a certain way so they have like that quality and everything. But at the same time, you're working with other creative minds to be like, hey, this might work better or something. That's a long answer, but it's just me going off on a tangent of, I know, it's just super fascinating, I think.
No, it makes sense. You're staying in the creative. You guys are staying more in the creative sense, and then there's the engineering side that takes care of all that.
There's still some things that we do that we had to know on our end. Like, oh no, you see my broken thumb. We are taught, like, over the course of time, like you're slowly taught either in person or just by through experience of, wow, that didn't go well at the factory, of ways of like considering like, okay, this piece is going to be really thin. I'm going to want to make like thicken it up on my end so that it'll look better when it's cut up into pieces at the factory. We don't go as far in, well, there was one point in time where sculptors also helped with output, but no more. So I'm rusty on it. So I'm just gonna
that was a long
leave that to Bev. Oh yeah,
Making
a long time ago. Oh man, how did I'll come back when I'm on like broken limbs, trying to fit chopsticks in these tiny hands.
That's such a great hand pose, though. Ellie.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely like I'm keeping this for later.
Like that's such a difficult thing to like figure out on chopsticks. But like for this, for example, would you usually like go to your drawer and grab an actual set of chopsticks and like do that pose?
I have these
yourself?
2 pen toppers that I because I don't have a chopstick on hand. I've been using it every now and then, just like pulling it out and just looking at my hand and like how my fingers hold it. Because I was also just like, how do I hold chopsticks again? So
definitely a weird.
That's an example of in real life. I'll just get my own things and be like, how do I do this? Keep them to the side here so I can keep referring to them.
Sometimes it leads to debate. I've been to many places where I've seen people holding chopsticks very differently.
Oh
yeah. Apparently
the debate of how to hold the chopsticks.
I don't actually know. I know the reason, or like, I don't know why people hold chopsticks differently, but I do know why chopsticks look different in China versus Japan versus Korea. If anyone wants a random fact, that
please share. Yeah.
All right. So I watched this video a while back. So this it actually made some of this may be old now, but Chinese chopsticks are usually wooden and much longer, particularly because, especially when the idea of eating around a table was introduced, it's good for sharing, for grabbing food that's out in the middle of the table as opposed to just a single dish in front of you. Japanese chopsticks are usually shorter and sharper, is mostly because of the fish diet. It's very good for picking apart fish. And then Korean chopsticks are usually a metal of some kind, or false metal, or whatever it is, because it was a sign of. It was kind of like one of those like sign of wealth, but also it was believed that certain types of metals could detect poisoning in food. So it was used by the royalty, and since it was used by the royalty, it's just became a sign of wealth. So there you go. Random, not ZBrush related.
you come to a multi-stream and we learn something.
Learn cultural stuff.
I have a bunch of different chopsticks in my drawer at home, so now I'm gonna go inspect them. Never paid attention to that until right now.
I have a set of Korean metal chopsticks because to me they're like the expert level chopsticks, because the metal makes it a little harder to grip things sometimes. And I'm just hardcore like that in my nerdiness.
Because you're
I'm
not
going to stop talking
hardcore.
now. You should go.
You're not hardcore.
You're ready for some food, though. I love it. Lunging for the food.
Chopsticks at the ready. Totally wasn't what I was planning to pose at all, but since I said Korean barbecue, I'm going with it. I'm just doing it.
We'll move on to Ryan. We'll keep cycling through.
Here I am.
There you are.
Little gnome.
So how much learning experience do you say you get while you're actually at work as you're going through? Would you say it's
Like-
a fair amount?
All of it.
All of it.
I mean, I've learned so much more through work than anywhere else. I mean, like we were saying, it's like how we always share tips and tricks. You know, we're always doing something for sure. It's great. Shoot, I accidentally deleted the wrong piece. That's always one thing that's like, the worst thing is accidentally realizing you had the wrong item selected and
Did you save recently?
never get it back.
Did you save
No.
recently?
I haven't actually.
Oh no.
Well, if you
It's all right. I have another one right here, so it's
Okay.
It's fine.
I was gonna say because I used to do that a lot. So what I do is before I delete something, I'll save it, right? But I've still accidentally deleted stuff. So if you are working on a ZTL and you delete something, you're like, oh man, I deleted that. Just reload that ZTL. It will load in to a new canvas, and then you can just grab whatever you're missing.
Very true.
I just
Yeah.
love. We talked about this. I talked about this with Ivan, one of the sculptors, and it's just like that little message that you always get at the beginning, like, "Oh, are you sure that you want to?" It's like, "Yeah, I want to," and then like you were like, literally, oh, like
We're good.
Yeah.
I'm a dummy. Like,
They're right next to each other. And you're just like, yeah, okay, duh. Oh, no.
We got so many hair pieces. Merch.
That's why that little message is there. They pop
Yeah,
up, but
right.
they're supposed to be
Yeah.
lightsabers.
there's a purpose.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah, you have to read it.
And our hubris, we're like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Oh, no.
Every single time.
The artists in all of us, we don't want to read. We just want to create.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's reading? What's math?
It
See,
looks like there's.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no. I was just gonna say it looks like we've spiked the sushi talk interest in the chat, so everybody's going out for sushi.
Oh, man.
Nice. Sushi for lunch sounds great after the
Sushi is
stream.
awesome.
Yeah, let's
Sushi for
celebrate.
lunch.
Yeah,
Sushi
I
is
have
really
some.
delicious.
I might actually have to do that.
Yeah,
I'm not
it
kidding.
does sound good. It does sound good, right?
Yeah.
Brian, can you bring me some, please?
Yeah. There you go.
Should
Mail it
just
out.
mail it. I'm sure it will last. In
It'll
the
be
flight
fine.
Ship it.
From
It'll be good.
Washington to Spain.
So we're on Amanda's screen now, just so everyone is
Yeah.
aware. Showing the
And I will
pirate.
point out that I did the little stripes on my pants before I started posing so that when I am finished posing and I want to add those as score lines, I have guidelines for the pants. So that's one thing that
I love that.
Good
Yeah.
tip.
I love
Hot
that
tip.
technique a lot.
Yeah.
Good tip.
I have to put a fist in here, and I really don't want to pose this hand into a fist. That's lazy problems. It's okay. I still have to make a sword. Who knows when that'll happen?
So after this, are all you gonna print them out and have them on your desk?
That'd be fun.
Oh man,
I
that'd
wish.
be awesome.
Probably not, but
No?
maybe. I don't want to have to look at
I
myself.
wish. Nothing else. I would definitely want to finish this weird dash to Korean barbecue that I've started creating here.
Well, if you do end up sharing it online, just tag us in it and let us know you finished
Yeah.
it. We'd love to see it.
For sure.
Hopefully, we will finish today.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's see.
That's a good lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
This is
Hour and a
basically
half.
a sculpt off challenge right now.
Oh
no.
my gosh.
There's the most.
Let's not make it a competition.
Oh no.
Always a
No, it's totally on. It's totally
Secret.
on. It's totally competition now. Let's go.
That's true.
Little did you know. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh man, speed sculpting time.
Nope. Nope.
Can't do that. No, thank you.
Does anybody here work with UVs? You know, I know there's no need in the toy world necessarily, but is somebody here that you play with UVs at all when you're trying new stuff, or you like something that's cool?
Sometimes.
We do occasionally, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surface modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we use, or I guess I use the UV master sometimes.
Yeah, same.
Or
I need to add like a surface texture all over something. Or...
Mhm.
there's like with dresses or shirts or hats that have a texture to them or pattern, a physical pattern to them. We'll use UV master to help unwrap and throw those on there.
Nice.
Yeah.
UVing, I don't even know how to say it. The beauty of 3D UV.
Yeah.
Yes. There are days where I miss UVs, and there are days where I don't miss it.
Yeah.
Days that they don't give you any problems, you're like, yes, I love you.
Yeah. Oh yes, and I love it.
We're moving on. Claire, we're looking at your screen now. Just
I
continually
added some
hopping between all your
color.
screens.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Oh, your little bubbles on the pipe.
And
is
I
so
made it
cute.
a bubble
Oh.
pipe.
Love it.
It's so cute.
Incredible.
That is so
There it
cute.
is.
I love the glasses too. That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how you're using the dynamic solo feature as well. Do you-
Oh yeah. That I accidentally click on and off all the
Yeah.
time.
I was gonna say I remember.
That's actually really good when streaming, when you're sharing your screen. That's a good feature to have on stuff.
Oh, is
You can
it?
see it,
Okay.
but then because when ZBrush hides everything, it's not utilizing, that's hidden, so it's not using resources.
Yeah. That's good.
So you'll
I
notice.
also,
those performance
want to
differences.
point out a good thing she did with her pipe for those watching. She had the pipe and the bubbles touching her hair for the purpose of giving that some volume too. Good little trick she did there. Yeah.
Did I? Oh.
All these happy little accidents.
totally
Yes.
totally intentional.
No mistakes, only happy accidents.
That's right. Maybe if I wanted some extra support, yeah, in a print, I might do that, or I might just navigate the
Or-
hair around it. Probably, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since the heads are so big, they're generally roto molded, so it'll be a separate piece. So probably not touching, but
Yeah, probably not touching. I did make a kite from Mary Poppins that came out a couple years ago, and that was touching the head for some extra support.
Mm.
Yeah.
Speaking of prepping stuff, and how often, do you guys, when you're thinking about sculpting, do you keep that process or that manufacturing process in mind, or do you just kind of freeform it, sculpt it, and then you're like, okay, now that everything's designed, let me critique it to the manufacturing?
I try to just start every sculpt with it in mind.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, after you've done it for a while, it's just kind of second nature to just do it as you sculpt. So I don't know about everybody else, but that's how I do it.
It's also, I'm also like to keep it in mind at the beginning, because especially if we're like, oh, I had this really cool technique or not technique thing I want to sculpt. Example, Rose from the Titanic. She had this piece of cloth that wrapped over, or like from behind her and then over her arms, and in a moment I'm not thinking of how it was going to be taken in pieces to begin with, sculpted in a way that was not going to be very practical or look very good once it got to the factory. And so having to redo a good bit of it to make it factory friendly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it helps to think like, oh, how is this figure gonna be split? So like instead of working like from the figure, you work from the piece. and like kind of like also instead of like focusing on making the figure pretty, you also focus on making the pieces pretty too. So you know, in that case, they connect well, or like you know, especially for the output team, they are just happier. They don't suffer.
Try to be nice to the output team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Try.
Bev's like, yes,
I know how
yes.
to do it. Just
Don't
remember, I
get
know how to take
the
part of body.
We're at Andrea's screen now too, just for the update. What
Yeah.
screen we're looking at.
Does
Dynamesh
Dean
and
actually get on a surfboard with you?
No, I wish. But there's actually a thing that of dog surfing or surfing dogs. Like, yeah, it is a thing. Sorry, I'm just too excited to say I don't know how to. But yeah, there are like even competitions of dog surfing or surfing dogs. Yeah,
Wait, there's actually a competition for it too?
That's
yeah,
That's
incredible.
wild.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
yeah. My dog couldn't do it, but
I couldn't either.
that's why I'm doing this. It's like a hope of like a dream.
Yeah.
Fulfill that dream.
That is some training right there. That is some training.
Yeah.
Ride that board.
That's too funny.
I didn't know there was a competition. That's cool.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find videos of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a ton. There's a ton of videos of them, and they look so cute. They even fall, like they fall into water. They're just so casual about it. They're like, I'm okay.
Oh my god. My dog would be terrified for the rest of his life if he fell on a surfboard.
Yeah, mine too. She's sensitive.
Yeah, one of mine would be terrified. The other one, I think she'd be fine and just swim to the shore. My one actually does kind of surf. When my wife does laps, she'll stand on her back while she.
Oh my gosh.
Aww.
What kind of dog is this?
It's a little dog. She's a mix. So she's like a Italian Greyhound and probably Chihuahua. She's only about 15, 16 pounds.
Oh.
Cute.
She does it though, because my wife will do laps, and then sometimes she'll put her on her back, and she just stands there on her back.
That also makes more sense than what my brain was thinking of like a golden retriever or something. It's like,
Oh,
Yeah, no, she's nice.
They might try though.
They might
Yeah.
try, yeah.
To the question about asking opportunities in the EU, well, you have an example right here. Andrea is in Spain right now, working for Funko. So yes, there's opportunities. So we're constantly putting their careers link in there. So I would say jump on there and see what they have, opportunities they have.
Yep. While working at Funko and doing pops for a living, has anybody here met celebrities, or have you done any celebrity pops that you're really proud of?
okay. I just kind of have to say, I really want to meet Tom Holland. That's like the only.
Tom Holland, if you're watching.
There it is. I knew it was coming. I knew it.
Perfect.
I have an obsession with him. Next.
I think I saw him in the chat actually.
Oh, what? Oh my god.
Weird. He said that he's always wanted to meet you.
Yeah.
Wild.
Funny how that
I heard
works.
you talking about him.
I think the closest thing I have, I don't think I've actually met anyone in person, but geez, brain just went out. I was part of the team that worked on the Critical Role Vox Machina pops, and getting to see the different actors or the players posting videos online of them with their character as a pop just made my day. It was
really
definitely
cool.
one of the highlights because
That's cool.
I was excited about it, and I was excited to see them excited about it.
Yeah.
You get excitement too when you guys go into stores and the shelves and you're with friends or something like, yeah, I sculpted that one right there. And that
Oh, yeah,
one right there.
My mom likes to point them out to people.
Yes.
So,
Your mom does?
yeah, she goes to the store and just be like, my kid sculpted that. You know.
Yeah,
so.
my dad does that too. It kind of embarrasses me a lot.
Yeah, it's fine. My mom.
Well, that's good. They're proud of you. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
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 My mom likes to take photos with them. She has like a whole. She has a couple
Wow.
in her actual collection, but she likes to collect photos of them in the store if she's not buying them, and she would. So she has like a whole photo album with her standing next to. Holding them next to her, so she'd be like,
Oh, that's cute.
"It's so cute. I absolutely adore it."
I feel like there could be like a Funko Parent Pop Instagram feed or
gosh.
something.
No.
Don't give them that power.
I have mixed
Yeah,
feelings.
I don't want my dad involved in that.
Are any of the parents watching? Let's do this. Let's
I
go.
don't
I
know.
think my mom is watching. She might be.
All right, start it. Start it.
If
No.
you're watching, don't do it.
No.
Hashtag
Mom,
Funko Parent.
don't do it.
I know for me, it was very difficult to even tell my mother what I did. It took her years to really grasp. Did any of you have that same thing for you with your? This is what I actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's like up to the point. I mean, my parents are super supportive, but like they are like, when I was looking for a job, they're like, oh yeah, there are a lot of video game companies. Like there are designer companies and designer like jobs, and like, you know, you can do concept art and you can do all of that stuff, right? And I'm like, no, but I'm just a sculptor. Like he just understands like as the whole pack, but
Right.
But I mean, yeah, I feel like it is a difficult concept to, you know, for them to understand. Like even the first time that I worked from home, they were like both of them staring at my screen like, oh, so you move it? Oh my gosh. It's a 3D. So that's what you do. Oh.
And then you show them the printer, and then they're like, "What? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, but
yeah."
how does the liquid become solid? Like they always ask.
That's a whole other
Science.
conversation.
I have been very fortunate to have very supportive parents who, when they saw how passionate I was about art, was very supportive of me going to art college. And like my dad especially will look into all the things that I'm learning and kind of learn along with me almost.
That's awesome.
And yeah, they like to see the things that I come out with. I try to work on projects too that are special to them or special to me because of memories with them. And yeah.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
It's great to hear. Yeah, for all of us artists out there, right? Giving art to our kids and having it in schools still seems to be a different world we live in now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this was definitely not even like, you know, when you're growing up, it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to be an astronaut? Do you want to be a firefighter or
Right.
policeman? It's like it wasn't on my thought at all. Like I want to make toys.
I
That
didn't
wasn't
know
until
that it could be
after
a
I
job
graduated. Oh,
Yeah.
until I interviewed here.
same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, oh, I can make toys? Awesome. Right,
I can
I'm
make
set.
like fan art for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Sign me
Yeah, we're
up.
hiring.
Again, we're hiring.
Yep. Does anybody here sculpt vehicles or has some good love for some hard surface?
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
did a few.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
most of us probably have here.
Yeah.
Yeah, by this point, you can see how enthusiastic some of us are about doing it.
I'm less the modeler.
Everything.
Yeah.
We
Well, I originally learned through Maya and doing 3D modeling with edge loops and faces and vertices and all that stuff. So I use ZModeler all the time in ZBrush. But yeah, I did the Mach 5 a little while ago with Speed Racer in it, and that was really fun because I did that with low poly and like with the Mach 5, it's so simple, but it's also like it's so smooth and clean, and it's definitely kind of a challenge to get that smooth, clean surface. But
Trying to
yeah,
think.
I actually enjoy some some rides every now and then. It's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, me too. I remember I did Buzz driving the Pizza Planet truck
Oh yeah.
years ago. That one was really fun.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I worked with, how is it called? The Fantastic car. With God, sorry, it's like an 80s, 90s show. The theme song is da 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 da. Is it Fantastic? Oh, Knight Rider. It's sorry.
Oh.
Ah, yes.
Sorry. It's a Spanish Fantastic car. So I was like, ooh.
I
But yeah,
officially feel old. I officially.
I'm
I
sorry.
love Andrea. It's some show in the 80s.
Andrea, that's you.
There you go.
Andrea's just a baby.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
She's
I
the
love
baby
the
of the
thought.
group.
I love the thought process though. Like you sang it to yourself. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
yeah. Up here it is. Okay, great, wonderful.
I
Now I
appreciate
have it in
little
my
show.
head too. Now I have the theme song in my head. I love it. Nice. That was a popular one for sure. Kit.
Um,
But you
was
did the Andrea. You did the Disney castle. The
oh yeah.
you did Aurora's, so the Disneyland castle. So
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
that was a building, because then I did the Hogwarts castle, and
nice.
so a lot of us then also have gotten the opportunity to do some buildings, and that's a whole other environment from doing figures or rides, where you have to like consider scale and both with the windows and the scale of the building. But yeah, was there any sort of like unique processes or discoveries that you kind of came with when you did the Disney castle? Or
Well, my
because remember that was quite the big project. You were cranking that thing out. That was a
it was
pretty big undertaking.
Yeah, and sadly I had not a lot of time to work on it. So
Right, you cranked it out really fast.
yeah, I was like, why did I do this to myself? That's what I learned.
Very common question here.
I did learn a lot of stuff, to be honest, but it was really difficult. But I guess that it like those projects forced me to be more comfortable with C modeler. Yeah, and same with the car too. I mean, I started. We actually have a senior sculptor, that he doesn't use C modeler for the hard surfaces. He just uses age polish and just regular brushes, and he blows my mind. Like I'm like, how do you do that? And he's like, yeah, just like do that, do that, da da da, and boom, that's it. I'm like, wow.
Phil, our hard surface master.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like more of a sculpturing hard surface than box model.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I cannot do that. I was like, I'm gonna try a C model. I'm like, I guess this is easier. I can do this.
Yeah, that's one of the best ways I think to learn a feature is force yourself to use it for something specifically and then stay in it. Definitely. As a developer, that's what I'm doing. That's what I do when we're developing the tools. I just force myself to only use that feature and see where its limitations, where it can go, how we can expand it, how we can grow it. So I would say that's good advice when you're trying to learn something, for sure.
Yeah.
Just jump in and do it.
Love
It's the
that
easiest
for-
way.
Are you guys allowed to share
it's
how many
more-
sculptors are at Funko now?
Oh,
I'm not
we
sure.
said a number. I think
There's
we
definitely
said
quite a
Close
few of us.
to
We've
30.
Over
Yeah.
30.
definitely been growing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Aren't we 39? Like in the sculptors?
You're over
Over
30.
30.
You're
Yeah,
Over
we're
30.
We're over
And that's
30.
like just including the whole 3D team,
Yeah.
the output and everything too.
Yeah.
We've grown
Krista
so
in the
much.
chat
That's
says
true.
34.
Oh, thanks, Krista.
Oh, there's the
Hey,
few.
Krista.
Krista.
Aw, hello.
She's one of our sculptors too. She's awesome.
Nice.
She's great.
Well, welcome in, Krista.
Thanks, Krista. we were looking at Ryan's screen. I'm just going to keep bouncing through. We're at it, and then just for a time check, we're at an hour and 35 minutes in. So just so the 60,
Yeah.
So
How's
if you
everybody
wanna keep
feeling?
going for a little bit? Everyone will keep going for a little bit.
Yeah,
Sure.
let's keep going.
This is fun.
I'm into it now. Like,
Just,
the whole thing.
Working on my hair. I definitely tend to, I think probably everyone does this, but I tend to kind of bounce around all over the place. You know,
Yeah.
I'll go down and, like I have the pose going on here, and then I'll go back up to the hair, and then I'll go back down to the pants, and then I'll go over to the glasses, and then constantly tweaking and shifting stuff around.
Yeah.
Does everybody else have days where you just are really bad at hair and you're like, well, I wanted to do the hair today, but I'm just not going to. So I'm going to work on something else.
I feel like
that hair day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's when you wake up and you're like, oh, this is a good hair day.
Yeah.
Saying like, please, I cannot do hair. Okay, I'm just gonna go on.
Or you're just like, yes, a bald character.
When you're in the hair zone, you don't want to leave. It's like
It's
do
true.
all the hair when you're in the hair zone, or else it can be hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because also you feel like it's like come back to it the next day and suddenly you're sculpted it with a different style than you were yesterday. It's like no. I love sculpting hair. I do. I promise. But
Mhm.
also
I do too.
it's a beast of its own. So
Oh yeah.
It
I
is.
always looked at hair as its own character. It's like it's the shapes, the way it falls, the way it flows. It's all different. Yeah. So
And like we've been talking about, it really takes the character, right? You know who it is
Mhm.
sometimes by the hairstyle alone, right? That silhouette and that look. So it's an important aspect.
Yeah, I'm definitely all about silhouettes. Like because I was brought up with learning about animation. I originally went to college for computer animation and then shifted over to this. For me, it was pounded into us to, think about silhouettes and posing and all that stuff. So like, I absolutely love this little silhouette window that you guys added a little while ago.
Mhm.
Because I'm just constantly using that. I used to do a thing where you would change the background white and then put like flat color material on it and turn it black to check
Yeah.
the silhouette.
Yeah.
But ever since you guys added this, I was like, oh yes, thank you. Because I'm just always looking, because I'm always trying to get a good clean silhouette of trying to figure out what's the best image of the character to then when you even just look at the silhouette, you know exactly who it is, and like the pose is clean and clear, and the shapes and the curves are all reading well. But yeah, I'm all about
Yeah, I
that.
find myself using that a lot too, looking at that for quick silhouette, especially in the design phase.
Yeah, all the time.
It's like on a similar thought process, and also something we were just talking about as well is like bouncing around to like working on the hair at one point, then working on the pose at another point. And you don't want to only be working in one view the entire time, because the more of the bigger picture that you have, the better it often it turns out. And again, as a detail oriented person, if I let myself stay in one area for too long, I'll start to just get on these little details that I may have to just completely scrap later when I find out it doesn't work or something. So,
all right. And I'm sure also too that the moving around, that always kept me motivated with the piece, because sometimes you'll get stuck in a rut and then you're feeling like this isn't working.
yeah.
So then you move to another shape, and then that just resets the brain a little bit.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one sentence stuck on my head from a teacher. When I turn in a assignment, he wrote down, I got a D, but he wrote down, you were polishing a turd. I
Oh wow.
didn't know what it was, so I had to look it up, and then I was like, oh, okay.
What was another feedback someone got where it was
It's this
it
thing
looks
here.
terrible, but it's not your fault?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
oh that was not.
The classic.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was like
got
some
that?
sort of gross monster of some kind.
That was Sean to Andrea.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was Andrea. Oh yeah,
Yeah. So,
so funny.
I love.
We won't go into specifics of that, but
Yeah.
Here's a great question that's really important that I know you all will have the answer for. Should people include Funko Pops or models in their portfolio?
No.
very good question.
I would say no.
Say no. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's very obvious to us when we see a pop and it's not quite right. I would just go for more stylized things, kind of in the, in a figural vein, show that you can do something simplified, something stylized, but not go for a full pop.
Yeah, it's not like
you
you're
go.
not going to get hired on if you have a pop in your thing, but if you do have one, you want it to. We judge it much more critically because it's our specialty. It's like, okay, we know when something's going to be wrong.
What about a
So-
wide range of styles? Like, let's say the portfolio has like anime and then realistic horror and then something kind of, cheesy and fun. Does that help as well in the portfolio to be a little bit more well-rounded?
Oh yeah, having diversity a little bit
Yeah.
in your it's. I mean, because we have our pops, we have action figures, we have. It's like tiny mystery minis. Like the style varies from format to format. So
It's just
It's
gonna
really
look
about
okay.
showing your range, and it's like no matter what project you'll be given, you'll be able to crank it out and do awesome work. So
Nice.
Yeah,
Especially for our conversation today, you guys are doing everything. You're doing hard surface, you're doing organic, you're showing a good range. It sounds like it'd be good. Okay, we're on Claire's screen now, just for updating everybody what we're looking at.
Here she is.
it's looking so cute.
So
Give
cool.
her a pinky ring.
Did you? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
the right color on there.
I want to read this story. This needs to be something. Like,
Oh Lord.
you need to develop this idea further, Claire.
Only in my mind. It's like Dynamesh.
It's cool. It's all of them are coming together. They're looking really great. So I think
Yeah.
Almost like we do this every
love
day.
it. So
Sounds
what
like-
is your favorite detective show since you're making Detective Claire?
Oh my god. I like the BBC. Is it the BBC Sherlock with
Yeah.
Cumberbatch? Yeah, that
Yeah.
was definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Monk?
I did
Oh my
watch
God.
Monk. I love
love
Tony Shalhoub. You're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Monk too. I had a big Monk phase.
Yeah.
Andre, were you saying that you were into Monk too?
Yeah, I recently started watching. Also, I freaking love Columbo. It's so
Oh,
good.
Columbo. That's a good one.
One of those old shows.
Oh, those super old shows.
All.
Hey, I grew up watching Murder, She Wrote with my mom.
Murder,
She
She
loved
Wrote.
Oh
And she would have that on all the time. So we'd sit down and
Little
watch it.
Matlock too? Do you have a little Matlock going
Yeah,
in the
a
house?
little
too?
Matlock. Yeah. And there was another one. Oh, I just slipped my. It was that couple.
Mason?
Paul, you might. No, it was that couple that were doing detective work. It's like
Are you talking about Bruce Willis moonlighting?
no, not Moonlight. I'll get it. I'll get it. It was a TV
Okay.
show.
Is
It's like I
That's
love
the
couple.
couple.
Share. Yeah, hold on. I'll pull it up.
Moonlighting is what comes to my mind first.
Let's see.
The Rockford Files. Go ahead, chat. Share your favorite detective show. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of good ones. You got to think of the writers coming up always with all that stuff too. Is also astonishes me. All the plot lines they keep coming up with and thinking of all that through. It's amazing. Heart to Heart.
Heart to Heart. There it is. Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. That was the one. My mom would love that one too.
Leonard
I also
Nimoy.
really like Veronica Mars. I mean, she counts as a detective. I guess.
Yes.
Like, they're-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say someone put in the X Files. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
chalk
Oh,
that
yeah.
out as
Yeah,
detective.
I
That's-
think so.
Another one of my
Yeah.
all-time favorites.
Scooby Doo, but of course.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Classic.
Scooby Doo ending. Scooby Doo ending.
How do we forget
Oh,
that?
Gravity Falls too. Yeah, I would say.
Oh,
Gravity
yeah,
Falls.
Gravity
Falls.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Psych was good.
Does
We really
Criminal
opened up the
Minds
can
count?
here. We got a
Yeah, that's a good one.
Psych. Psych was a good one.
Psych
Yeah.
was good. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So many good shows.
There are. That's what I'm saying. You could probably go on a binge for a year going through detective shows. It would last you an entire year, probably easily. I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, Johnny Quest. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh,
Remember the Great Mouse Detective movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Detective Sherlock Holmes.
Radigan,
Terrified me and
like
fascinated me.
one of the best villains ever.
That villain gave me nightmares, but I loved it.
I like the young Sherlock Holmes too. That was a good one too.
Yeah, it was good.
The Jeremy Brett version from the 80s is like the most accurate, I think, screen portrayal for Sherlock. I don't know if anyone's seen that. It's really good.
No,
Yeah, I think
I
I
like-
know what you're saying.
There was a
Did you
show-
watch the new one with Billy from Stranger Things? Where it's
Oh yes.
Sister Sherlock?
Yeah, she's like the little sister.
Oh,
of
yeah.
she's a little sister.
Henry
Yeah.
Cavill is Sherlock. Ooh, I
Yep.
did
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Henry Cavill is Sherlock. That is something. I'm okay with it.
I don't know if anyone remembers it. I
They're
barely
making a
remember-
sequel. I saw that they had.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I enjoyed it. It was cute. It was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah,
good
it was
movie.
fun.
I don't know
I
if
have
anyone
not
remembers
seen
this.
I have some
That was a-
watching to do.
I don't know
Oh,
if anyone
Leonard
remembers the
bringing
series,
Batman
but-
from the
Oh,
'60s.
sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
Leonard, 100%.
There you go.
He is the detective. Okay.
This may just
Yeah.
be me, but there was this older, I want to say animated TV show for Sherlock where he's was frozen and then brought to the future and unfrozen to
Yeah.
solve mysteries
Oh,
in the
you're thinking of,
technological future.
is that Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century or something?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think
know
I've
it's
seen
just
that.
remembered it.
I love that show as a kid, but
Yeah.
like watching it again, like Watson had like the brain of an android. Like
What?
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know this one.
this was my childhood. I think I'm talking about the same thing you're talking about. They had flying cars. It's like futuristic Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I remember that too.
It's
It had
been-
a really
it's been a
cool
while.
intro song to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Andrea,
Now I'm gonna have to look it back up again.
does she know this? All right, we're looking at Andrea's screen right now too.
Oh,
Yeah,
Very nice.
coming along great.
I wasn't doing something embarrassing, right? Was I?
No, you're good.
Well,
You're good.
You're good.
I
You'll
hope.
never know. You'll never know until you watch this back.
Oh my gosh. Full suspense.
That's what
We'll,
Oh, yeah.
We'll bounce around because we're an hour and 47 minutes in, so we'll start bouncing around quicker. Just see where you're all at in your piece. We're now on Bev's.
I got sunburned
Aw.
Nice.
in the time.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's progressively getting red as the stream goes.
Now you got to do one of your fiance.
There you go.
Yeah, he's gonna be tan. He's already like pre-tanning already.
Oh, is he?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, we got one of those misters that you plug into your hose and then it just mystifies and everything. When we're finally getting like our heat wave up here in Washington, and we just discovered the beauty of a mister. Like we never had one or anything, and it's magical.
Yeah, I got a few myself. They are amazing.
Vector Gadget. That's a yes for me.
Oh, there you go. That's
What
another
about
one.
Wishbone though?
Oh no, if I can suck on my head.
Oh, I remember Wishbone. Yeah.
Wishbone, yeah, for me.
Wishbone.
Green Hornet. It's just coming through. We really opened up the conversation
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, we really did. Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah. I'd say that one of the more recent ones that I think I would classify this one as a detective show because of where it's doing. It's Tokyo Vice. It's on,
Oh,
and that one's really
I
good.
like
Yeah,
yeah, it is really good.
I haven't watched that one yet.
that one's really cool. I really like it. It takes place in Japan. It's based on a true story about the first American to work at the Tokyo newspaper, and he uncovers a lot of the underworkings of the Japanese criminal world. It's really cool.
Ooh, I need to get into that. Sounds
Yeah.
like it.
And as somebody who's trying really hard to learn Japanese, the Japanese is very natural sounding, so it is very nice to listen to and hear them speak really authentic Japanese in that.
Nice.
So hardware question for, I see Ryan's on a Cintiq. Is everyone else on tablets?
Cintiq.
Cintiq.
I prefer Cintiq, but I'm currently on a tablet.
Cintiq. Okay, there you go to the question someone was asking. Cintiq. For me, I would say I like to have at least the 21-inch, 22-inch. Give yourself some space, workspace personally, over the 16 or the 13.
I have a 22. You also like,
same.
you know, whatever works.
I have the teeny one. But I'm tiny, so it doesn't count.
Itsy bitsy teeny weeny little Cintiq. I don't know.
Keep it going. That's perfect. Yeah, I worked on a 16-inch tablet once. That was not good. I had to upgrade quickly.
You find yourself just like getting closer and closer.
Yeah, I found myself like just down in my and I switched to a much larger one. I think I have a 24 at home now. But I find myself even at work sometimes just having a normal tablet works. So I switch back and forth. But if I'm going to go Cintiq, it's going to be a big one. But at 6'4", kind of helps.
Yeah, for sure.
Watch me be awkward with the sword. A very fast sword.
Oh, look at yours. That's so awesome, Amanda.
I love it.
Little pirate.
Yeah, I'm a little pirate.
I love it.
Thanks.
Looking good.
That's a cool sword. We should put that in the library.
Yeah, if I finish it. It's a very fast, lazy sword. So that's where we're at right now.
That's awesome. All of them are awesome. All the ones you've all 6 of you have been kicking out this cool piece. I feel the next challenge should be make a detective.
There you go.
There you go.
Our favorite detective.
Yeah.
Claire, you've created it, Claire. You've created it.
I'm all for that.
Just lend me your detective hat, and mine will be just like sleuthing for the next Korean barbecue place.
That's what your detective is, finding the hidden gem, the next hidden gem. Korean barbecue.
Well, man, it's really the hidden gem ones. Can't always just go mainstream.
I also have to say too, I really love watching everybody's UIs and how everybody has customized their screen space to really benefit them. As one of the few things.
Mine is as vanilla as you can get.
I keep mine vanilla because I teach, but I think it's awesome to really just see the way people save their brushes and really move it out. Because ZBrush is very versatile in creating your own custom workspace that you can just really thrive in. So it's just it's so cool to see the different colors, the different layouts. It really is neat.
Yeah, I have a funny story about that.
Yeah.
So when I got hired at Funko, Claire, I knew Claire from people working at Funko, so she shared her UI, and I was working on that. I was working on the screen, and then Anna approached, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to do the UI that I have," and then I popped it, and she helped me to set it up. She's like, "Oh, this looks like my UI." And I was like, "Oops, I guess, yeah."
That's because Anna gave me her UI when I started, and then I customized that UI for my workflow, so that's why.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
So thank you, Anna.
I definitely still have some like classic from in college with Professor Insen Kwan of like how he had us set up our UIs, and I just kind of kept that and then just evolved it over time.
Yeah.
As I've grown more and more in ZBrush. But yeah, go into like someone else's computer and be like, "Oh yeah, let me show you this real quick," and then trying to operate on their ZBrush, and it's like, "Oh my gosh!"
The hotkeys.
Yeah. What are some of the most widely used brushes that you have on the side there, Andrea? Got
Oh, me?
yeah. You got a whole stack going on.
So I use all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, move a lot. Oh, the oak cracks, the curve. Oh, inflat. how do you say it?
It's inflate. It's just
Inflate,
missing
yeah.
the E. It's
I
missing
knew I
the E.
was saying it wrong.
It's not
Inflate.
you. It's us.
I actually love the inflate brush. I
Me too,
always and yeah, the snake one is awesome. Frame, like just all of them are.
Trim curve. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love all of those. I just gotten used to, I mean, there are some that I should probably put in here. Like I really like the Mitch one, the DM standard too. I don't know if I said that right.
Yeah, I use H polish a lot, especially if I'm want to get a nice, clean, flat surface. But also, I tend to use the smooth, stronger brush. I guess it's not really a brush, but like just the smooth, stronger for my smooth. Because when you usually boot up the system, it's just normal smooth. But then if you go to light box and then brush, and then where is it?
Here, hold on. I'll share the screen.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, but it was a lightbox brush, and then this folder of some kind, and then the smooth stronger. I use that much more than the standard smooth because I just feel like it responds in such a definitely a stronger way. And usually I have it turned down to pretty low because then if you have it really high, then it really smoothes things out. But yeah, I really like smooth, stronger.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite brushes as well. Especially because with normal smooth brush, you'll if you're switching between subdivisions or you have something Dynamesh, doesn't hit as hard. So the smooth stronger is really cool. And it's neat too. Is opening up the light box and going into brushes. The ZBrush ships with so many different brushes. So you guys, there's a lot in there that. Yeah, I think there's over 100 brushes easily. It's a lot.
Total now?
Yeah.
I think we're well over 600 total that ship with it because there's about 300 in that menu, and there's another 300 something in Lightbox.
Just gotta collect them all.
Yeah, I'm a big smart. I like the smart smooth, the polish one. Yeah, the one where you let go of the shift key once you start.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
I love
that. Secret, hidden, cool little thing.
Yeah, hold shift and let go when you're touching the surface, and it just kind of blends things together.
Yeah, it's more of a relaxing smoothing.
Yeah.
I use that one all, and now it's a separate brush. We made it a separate brush by request, so now it's called the Alt Smooth.
Cool.
So you can actually make it your default smoothing brush now too.
I use it all the time too.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one.
So many clever little additions.
Yeah. And anytime there's a new brush that I'm playing with, or if I haven't used it enough, I encourage for everybody to try the alt version, try a control version, try the smooth, try a shift version. Try shift, control, or alt on that brush and see what it does, because there's some really hidden stuff with each brush just by those 3 buttons.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, we're coming up on 2 hours.
Oh wow.
Time check. It is a work day for you all, so
Right.
make sure you're
Very true.
the time. Or Andrea, it's like 11 o'clock. I don't even know what time it is. 9, 10, 9.
Is it that time for you yet?
It's 9. Oh, it's okay. I actually kind of like staying until late. Especially, I mean, it is one of the not great things about working in a different time frame. Because in case there are any fires, I always have Teams on my phone. So if I'm watching TV, or even before to bed, I know it's terrible, but I check Teams in case someone has an answer. I don't want to block anyone. So yeah, I'll say that's one of the bad things. But so yeah, this is normal. This is normal for me. Don't worry. Story of my life.
Well, it's been a lot of fun just watching what you're all creating of your own self-portraits as a pop.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been a lot of fun.
Especially how
Talking
far
chatting.
you've all gotten.
Yeah.
With Ian and
It's
I
been
bonding.
a fun challenge to kind of see how far we can get in such a short window.
Well, that and you guys are talking to us. Ian and I are annoying you and asking you questions at the same time.
Just poking, just a little bit. What you doing? What you doing?
It's gotta default to like the old in school where you're sketching at something and then suddenly people are watching what you're doing and you're just like drawing the same line over and over again. Somebody's very self-conscious.
For real.
It's on.
You flip to the page where you actually have a more finished drawing so that people aren't judging your in progress.
So I remember taking art class in high school, and the teacher would come over. I just leaned back and be like, "See," and then he'd eventually just walk away because I just stopped working. I'm like, "See, there it is. It's right there." Darn.
Way more confidence than me.
I was just like, if he's gonna judge me on what's on the page, not what I'm currently doing.
That's like a place.
That's true.
Art. I'm just cycling through everybody just so people can see where everyone's at. So I'm just jumping around to everyone's screens to
I
get
feel like now I have to finish this, you know?
Frantically trying to finish the hair.
I don't want to go.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you all for taking time out of your day, and the other Funko team members that are in the chat watching as well. Thanks for joining us too. And this has been a lot of fun. I know on our side too, and I'm glad you all have had fun doing it.
Oh yeah. Thanks for being here, guys. It's
Yeah,
fun.
thanks
Yeah, thank you.
awesome.
Yeah. It's awesome to see everybody work and also take questions. So thank you again.
If my boss is watching, this sword won't stay sharp, don't worry.
It's a little, yeah, it's just a
Like
little
you're
bit
pointed a
pointy
little bit.
there. Yeah.
Sharpness check.
Oh my
You know,
goodness.
yours looks actually cool, being like almost gray toned and keeping it gray toned. Like,
Oh yeah, it kind of does.
yeah, like almost like an old movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Black and white film. Pirate.
Yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't intentional, but now it is.
No, but it just looks cool.
If anyone asks, it totally was.
Yeah, obviously. Didn't
Oh,
intend it.
thanks.
Then we have Detective Claire. Here we go.
Right, I am trying to get through the hair, at least blocking some of it in.
It's looking great.
Yeah,
Moving some
they
pieces
all are.
over.
Yeah. You've all been killing it on the stream.
Well, if anybody in the chat has a last minute question before we wrap up, feel free to ask away.
A lot of thank yous as well, since you all, the six of you can't see the chat. A lot of people have been having just as much fun and thanking you as well.
Yay.
Shared a lot, and they appreciate everything you shared with them.
Hmm.
And there's been some Funko fans. I know you guys waved to them. They are in here as well. They've been watching.
Yay.
Hey.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we love you guys.
There was some. We had a question about printing tips and characters. We talked about 3D printing earlier in the stream with how they kept, how they have mesh intersects and stuff. So definitely watch back and see some of that. But if there's any last minute printing tips you have for the audience, jump in.
Sushi sleuth Kelly.
Sushi.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
actually hard for me to say this.
That's pretty cute.
Wow,
No.
that's so you, Ellie.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm like,
Not
catching
some
up
missing
on-
eyebrows. Just kidding.
Yeah, you
Also,
need eyebrows.
Yeah. Big feet because I was too lazy for shoes.
It's
So
like
that's accurate. You just don't have toes. It's just a,
Oh no.
just a mass.
I don't want to think about it. I don't like
Blob
I'm
down
like,
there.
Yeah, just a big blob of nothing.
it's like Patty with a chance of
I mean,
meatballs, just that little blue.
Oh, his little
that he
weird
had.
shoes.
when you're a kid and or early artist too, and you're like, I don't want to draw the feet, so they're always like the smallest, most simplest shape of all things because you're just like,
Or,
eh.
or they're off the page or
Yeah,
hidden
I was gonna say, or they're
behind
just off the page.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was part of
It
the
reminds me of
Exactly.
I watched Sid Mead once, and he didn't like drawing feet. So if you go look at a lot of his stuff, there's not a lot of feet.
Oh.
something. Well, there you
He
go.
didn't like drawing feet a lot. He said I watched him in some presentation he made. He was talking about that, showing examples. He did them, but it wasn't his favorite thing. It reminds me of that because I don't enjoy doing the feet either.
Yeah.
I know some people are like, just do what you hate, and then you'll learn to love it or whatever. But I don't want to learn to love feet.
Oh,
Let's do this. Let's before we call, how about you guys put your pieces up where they're at? We'll cycle through them real quick so everyone can see where you're at, and then we can call it a stream. So you guys can get on with your work day.
As much as we'd love to be here all day.
Yeah.
We
You
should
guys
probably
got enough stuff.
release some of y'all.
Or let's start with the bride.
Oh, cute.
That is adorable.
That's adorable.
That's awesome.
It's really cute,
That's so
Bev.
cute.
That's great. Love it. Ellie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sushi
Getting
sleuth
some,
Ellie.
Getting some green barbecue.
Nice.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you got a good pose going there.
Yeah.
That's so you.
Love it.
Appreciate that.
Ryan's. No, there you
Oh
go.
no.
Oh, I love the hat.
Stitches are awesome.
Nobody knows.
cute.
Okay.
Love it. That's
I love how
awesome.
he drew in a little blush.
Yeah.
Amanda's pirate.
Pirate.
Yes.
I love it.
Cute.
That's
Have
so
a
cool.
boot.
Juicy butt too.
Oh yeah.
I know, it's red beauty.
I'm not gonna
Always-
show it again.
Always trendy.
They're leggings, okay, Andrea? Oh no.
Love it. Love it.
You got like a
Claire.
sensor bar of your.
Yeah.
Claire.
Fine.
So awesome.
Didn't get through all the hair, but I
Yeah.
started blocking it in.
Oh, it's so cute.
We're together.
Yeah.
You guys all got to like a final piece practically. Andrea,
Yeah.
and then
You got me.
Cute. Look at your butt, Andrea.
I did the matching outfits.
Oh, that's
Yes. The classic. I can animate
Oh, yeah,
moves
he's wearing a
across
little-
the screen.
Little suit.
That's
Yeah,
so
I
really
don't
cute.
I love
such
it.
a nice one. And then you
so
were
awesome.
this one, but yeah.
Wow.
love it.
Look at the little tongue sticking out.
Yeah.
Lips.
So
Well,
cute.
again, I can't thank the six of you enough. And again,
Yeah.
those in Funko that helped. Darcy, you were in chat. I don't know if you're still here. Thank you too. And everyone else in the Funko team that's been involved and helping us bring these six artists to you all. Thank you. And again, to the six of you taking time out of your day to be with us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, it was really fun.
It was
Yeah.
it was really fun. So-
Yeah.
It was a blast. And then for those that are tuning in, we do streams like this every Tuesday. So next Tuesday, we got Ashley Adams with us, and she's going to be sharing a bunch of the projects she's worked on. So tune in every Tuesday on our channel. We're doing some kind of special stream. So definitely check out our calendar, and you can find out more about that for our streams. Again, next week is going to be Ashley Adams. And ironically, we have another toy type person the week after that. Brody Perkins is going to be after that. So we've got a bunch lined up. So thank you again, Funko team. It's been really great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
thank
as
you.
well.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
It was good stuff. I
Everybody
love it.
was awesome. Well, everybody take care. And again, have a fantastic rest of your day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too.
Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good job.